Overture, curtain lights. This is it, the night of nights. No more rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every card by heart. Overture, curtain lights. This is it, we'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
Ho, on with the show. This is it. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? It is another Real Town Wednesday.
I like these new chairs. Oh,
see,
it's like heaven.
They're comfortable to me on one hand, but they tilt too forward for me on the other.
Like this. I agree with that.
I'm a little.
I get that, but I like it.
You're good. You looking good, looking upright, ready for action. You're got your funky shirt. You got your Red Sox championship jacket.
I know,
over there.
I do. I love it. It's such a good jacket.
Looking good.
It's a nice little
like
jacket.
A Red Sox fan should. What's up? I'm John. That's Tracy. You know us. We're the real town people.
There's a lot going on in the world.
There's a ton going on.
And let me tell you something so
Go
funny.
ahead.
You know, I prefer not to talk politics.
I understand.
You know that. I don't.
However, there's a big thing going on.
There's so much going on now, and it's like, but you know, I like to have like a bipartisan type discussion. I don't want a discussion like that is
snipey.
I'm right, you're wrong. I don't want that discussion because if that discussion ever gets there, I'll be pissed off. It's not a I'm right, I'm wrong. It's like this is my view and this is your view. That's the way it's going to be. If it gets,
We've talked about it.
If Robbie Winter comes on, he has to keep open. He needs.
I make no guarantees.
Well, I'm letting my hair down for this one because I love Rob Winter. He's my main dude. But let me tell you something.
Wait, whoa, back it up.
Second.
What?
Second.
Thank you.
Main dude.
I'm sitting right here.
I'm sitting right here. Look, I didn't even pee.
Oh, you okay? Do you need to take a pause to refresh?
No, it's all right. I can hold it.
Oh, jeez. I don't know how you women do that.
I can hold it.
You know?
Yeah, I know. We can hold it.
There's not another rest stop for 60 miles. It's okay. I'll hold it. You're out of your mind. You know, we try to hold it as guys. It's like we get 18 different hernias. I mean, it's horrible.
Hold
The
pee.
Turn
hold
the
pee.
lights.
Hold the
So
pee.
what are you thinking? What
am I thinking?
Yeah.
About what?
You just had this whole little tee up.
Oh, about the politics?
About
I was
whatever.
just saying, you know, I just like
Without getting,
there's a lot going on.
Snipey about it.
Nah, I'm not gonna get snipey.
I know.
I'm not gonna get snipey because
No reason.
believe it or not, I see both sides, and that's like weird because you would think that I would not, but I kind of do. I see both sides of it, but it's just the problem is that it's just it's so black and white in most people's minds. It's black and white, but it's really very gray. But I don't see people say you're wrong or you're right. There's no like he's absolutely right. He's absolutely wrong. There's no like I'm not sure. Well, let me take a look. Like it's not like that. It's very like damn you Democrats, damn you Republicans. There's no, you know.
I think the people who are in the thick of it, so to speak, they're very much either or.
Yeah, there's
a lot to me. There is a lot of gray.
I think there's a lot of gray, but I understand people are very radical about it on each side. But I need to. There's a reason I'm watching it as much as I possibly can.
Right.
You know, and I'm looking on social media, and the reason I'm doing that is because so I don't make an opinion that is to one side or the other. I don't want that. I don't want to have a closed-minded opinion like I hate Trump and it doesn't matter what happens. I don't want that opinion. I don't want it.
Here's where I'm living. You want a little of that? Okay.
Sure.
So this is the third one that now I have been through this impeachment process. Okay.
The third.
Yeah.
What's the?
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Almost the third, the second and a half, because they were about to get Nixon.
Are you talking about Nixon?
Yeah, they were about to
Nixon,
do it with.
Yeah, he quit.
He resigned.
Before it. Okay, yeah.
Because here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
It may as well have been because those Watergate hearings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
They were akin to these proceedings going on now, except they weren't impeachment proceedings. They were other things.
Right.
But here's the thing, okay? Now, I was a kid. I will tell you, okay? I
don't remember the Nixon
I was
stuff.
7, 8, 9 years old, but I wasn't stupid. And the other thing, I was kind of captive because back then there were not 18,000 cable channels. You had,
No, there was none of that.
you know, you just didn't. Now around here where I grew up, you had like what? You had 6, 7 channels. You had 3 networks, 3 independents, and public broadcasting. Okay, but I spent a goodly amount of the summers up in northeast Pennsylvania in a town called Berwick, where my mother is from. And Mother and I would go out there, this is before she worked again. We'd go out there and spend weeks at a time with my grandparents, okay? And she would do stuff, help out around the house and so forth. My grandparents were older. And, you know, I had nothing to do, you know, until people came home from work, you know, older cousins and uncles and aunts and everything who had swimming pools because at, you know, 8 years old, they're not letting you in the pool by yourself, which is a good thing, by the way.
Right.
So I had nothing to do but, you know, watch television. And what was on? The Watergate hearings. And the long story short about that, even as a kid, again, 7, 8, 9 years old, not stupid, I'm like thinking to myself, man, I think these people are, they're in trouble. You know, the John Deans, the Ehrlichmans, the Haldemans, the B.B. Rebozos, all of them, you know, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And if it gets up to the President Nixon, he's going to have a problem. Again, this is just from the stuff as a kid that I'm seeing.
Right.
Okay? And lo and behold, didn't he have a problem?
He did.
So much so that he was like, you know, I'm resigning. I'm done. Okay? And that was the end of it. Okay? Clinton, I have to be honest with you, I was just so disinterested. It was a man I don't care moment, okay? And on one hand, yeah, they technically impeached him, but on the other hand, they didn't run him out of office because of perjury, okay?
And you know, on this I have to say, of course you're going to lie about cheating on your wife. Hello.
Well, and it wasn't even that. It was just other things related and or not related that he perjured himself about.
Who's not perjured? And you think there's no other presidents?
Oh, please. Okay?
I think they've all perjured.
Back to Nixon. I mean,
they've all perjured.
He obstructed. I mean, you know, he got in the way and
I think
he obstructed.
All politicians lie.
You know,
period. It's if do you get caught? You know, that's really
and
all
here's
politicians
the thing: Nixon
lie.
got it, and the thing of it was, Nixon got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and so did.
You ever see the movie All the President's Men?
No.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
My mother had the book, and she loved the book. She read it one summer.
Really great film.
And, yeah.
What good movies you haven't seen? You need to get a DVD
all the time.
I don't know. All the President's Men is really good.
I know.
Dustin Hoffman, Robert Redford.
Yep. Stop.
I actually watched it in class. It was a class,
but here's
political
the thing.
science class.
So Nixon, you know what? It was almost like, you know, Molly, you in trouble, girl. Richard, you in trouble, boy.
You in trouble.
Okay. Clinton, whatever. Man, I kind of didn't care. You know what? Blah blah.
See, I loved Clinton. I loved him. I loved him as a president. I loved him as a person. I thought he was highly intelligent. I thought he was a great. This is my, you know.
I understand.
You know, and I think it was a travesty what happened to him because honestly, yeah, he lied. He lied about what he did with her and what went on with her. And then when they put him on the spot and asked him again, he lied again. I know all this. He was a big fat liar.
It's a whole scene.
He's a big fat cheater. He's a big fat liar.
But I didn't think. Let's fast forward to right now, okay?
But you know, Trump's a big fat cheater too.
You know, he is or he isn't.
On his wife. I'm talking about.
Let's go.
Prior president, like he cheated on his wife with Marla Maples. That's like a fact. That's not even a.
And that's
a real thing.
Back, and but that's come out. But
but I'm saying cheaters are cheaters are cheaters.
Let's go to
that's
the
what
here
I'm
and now. Well, they are.
I'm just saying cheater.
Or they're not. I understand where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Here now, okay. To me, I'm not going to count. I'm not going to count Clinton because I didn't get myself involved with that because I just at that point in my life I had too many other things going on to devote myself to that business. I just didn't. Okay, my little boy was small. And I wanted to be with him. My family was young. You know, we were just married not too long, and that's where my head and my heart was. Okay, so now Nixon, you in trouble, Richard. Now we're here to Donald. I'm to the point to where, you know what, like you just said, man, I want to hear it all.
Yeah,
I want to hear it all because
an educated.
I'm striding that right.
Yes.
I'm striding the middle of that fence
Yes.
because I haven't heard it all.
Correct.
You know, I've seen some of the footage,
And thank you, John, for saying that.
Well, I'm just saying.
That means no. I thank you.
You're welcome.
Because that means something to me. Because that's all I ask of Republicans. Because obviously I'm on the other side, but I'm saying that's all I ask of actually not of everybody.
Of everybody
Is don't make a decision until you know everything. Read everything, watch everything, then make your decision as to how you feel about it. But don't just assume.
No.
You know?
You know, and here, okay, I've seen this Donald Trump show for 30 years or more.
Yes.
Okay, I've seen this boogie. I know how it goes, and now it's just another chapter, so to speak. It's a different chapter, a more important chapter, but it's another chapter. I want to see the whole thing, and of course, you know, the television networks are very selective on what clips they show you, and I don't have time to watch the whole cotton picking thing, and I don't even think I'd want to if I did. But I will say this about that: some of these folks, yesterday, last week, you know, I've seen some clips to where it's one of these deals to where it's like, this could be a problem. Then I see another piece to where scot-free, baby, no issue.
Right.
Like today was classic. I had a chance. Mike C. and myself, you know, just coincidentally got into the break room, and the screen was on about, I don't know, 2:30.
Oh, you guys had it on in the break room. Come on.
Somebody did.
Stop it.
I didn't put it on. I walked in there and it was on.
You guys always do that. Stop it.
And this Sonntag, whatever his name is, Soledad, whatever the freak his name is, the bald-headed fellow, boy, they had him on that seat forever. He was there all day, okay, because I would walk in and walk out, and he'd be there. 2 hours later, he's still going. The one, and I don't know who the congressman is, and I'm going to assume that he was from the GOP. He basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, he basically backed him up into a corner and said, did you, yes or no, did you or did you not hear from anybody on the planet that this, what you have, you know, said that you believed or thought maybe, did you hear this as valid from anyone on the planet? And he tried to dance, and the congressman was like, please, yes or no, you did or you didn't. And he just came out and he said he didn't. Just like that. I'm like, oh. Meanwhile, a couple hours earlier, based upon previous waffly dialogue this guy had, again, I can't think of his name, the bald-headed fellow,
right,
the ambassador guy, you know, he said something to the effect that made Schiff go out and have a little press conference, so much so that one of the networks is, you know, basically on there, Trump is doomed because of, you know, supposedly this probably happened because of what Buddy said. Well, 2.5 hours later, Buddy basically said, no, it's not true. So
where did you see that?
On the news today. On the coverage today.
I watched it all today, and I didn't.
When the guy was, when he backed him, it was like 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, and he's like, yes or no,
because I saw the complete opposite.
And the answer that basically is like, nope, nothing happened was yes. So he said, yes, and I'm like, okay, there it is. There's one for this side, and we've had a couple for this side, and here's another. I want to see it all.
Yeah.
I want to know about it all.
Definitely needs to be. But you know, who has the time? You know, people have
nobody.
lives.
That's the whole thing.
Well, that's the thing. It's on all freaking day. So you know, I think today was I had the most time to actually spend watching things, and there was, like I said, there was one gentleman. I got to look up everybody's name. There's one gentleman who spoke on behalf of Trump. I thought was actually very brilliant and very well read and educated, and it was very emphatic and you know, and I actually really liked him. I liked him, and. You know, but then Trump didn't bring on. They brought in this woman who was doing the news circuit. This new blonde woman. I don't know who she is or where she came from, but she works for Trump, and she kept making mistakes, and I caught the mistakes. And I don't know anything, but she was calling somebody an ambassador who actually is not an ambassador, but she kept making these errors about foreign policies and foreign delegates. She kept making mistakes on their titles, and I caught it. And then the news reporter was like, and then of course it's all over the news that who is this woman and why is even the Republicans are saying, who is this woman?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So she was really so they kept asking her questions, and she's like, you'll find out. You'll find out. You'll find out. She said it like 20 times. I said, why is Trump doing? Don't put her there. You're hurting yourself.
Your situation.
I don't know who she is. I don't remember an Amy or something. I don't know. She's very bad for women. Don't, and that's how I felt about that other woman that I think she still works for him.
Kellyanne Conway?
Yeah, I always felt like that about her too. She looks crazy. Like she just looks crazy to me. And I'm like, if you're going to have a woman to represent you, pick it right.
Who I did
cuckoo.
like was Sarah Sanders.
She was better.
She was no nonsense.
Yeah.
She
That's
told
what
it.
I'm
She
saying.
told it how it was in her mind and or how it was.
Yeah.
Depending upon your juxtaposition, but she was no nonsense. 1 and 1 is 2. Blue and yellow make green, and that was the end of that, whether you liked it or not.
But yeah, this woman, I don't know where she came from. I never heard of her.
I always thought she was a little mazzo
She's a little
myself.
cuckoo.
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
And it's not. I mean, it just isn't good. Just get rid. You don't need her. Just push her out. And this is like another Kellyanne. This new one. She's just real weird. I was taken aback by it, and I was saying to myself, if I was a Republican, a supporter of Trump, I'd be like, get rid of her, because she just was weird and all over the place and not making sense, and then saying things that were untrue. Like, you can't mess up the title. If you're talking about a foreign delegate, do your research and find out what their title is. Like, why? And she kept repeating the same title over, and it's the wrong title.
Ugh.
Like, that drove me nuts. But yeah, there's just a lot going on, and
There's a bunch.
and it's just the climate. I'm so over it.
He just is to me. He's just.
I just want it over.
He just exhibits weasel-like behavior, and I don't care for him. He's like, so Mr. Vindman, that's Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Hold on, I got something.
But then,
hold on. No, wait a minute. Hold on, I got something for him. Is it in my jacket?
oh,
Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Oh, got it. Hey, Lieutenant Colonel, I got something for you. Ready?
But we're
Dick.
getting a little aggressive. No, we're not going there.
He's a dick.
No.
He's a dick.
No.
He's a dick.
No,
He's a
we're not
weasel.
going there.
He's a weasel.
What do we say? No,
I don't care for
flipping
him.
the
I'm
bird.
telling you
That's
how it
okay.
is. Oh, like
you
this?
can say you don't care for him.
Vindman?
Come on,
him.
John. Do you
I don't
see
like
me
him.
doing that?
Don't like him.
Don't do it.
I won't do this anymore.
You don't have to like him. I don't care. You don't
I
have
think
to like
he's a
him.
weasel. He's exhibiting
But
weasel.
he also served our country.
Don't care.
Well, that makes a
now he's a
difference to
weasel.
me. That makes a difference. Yeah, but
Now he's a weasel.
I don't know. That's an
I
opinion.
don't care if he's
That's
got
an opinion,
an
though.
artificial leg because he went over a landmine. He's now exhibiting weasel-like
He fought.
behavior.
He fought for your country.
Good for him.
That's like a little. I'm gonna.
Don't care.
I'm gonna
Don't care.
I'm gonna stop on that because
Don't care.
regardless of whether you agree with him or not, I don't care if you agree with him.
I don't. I think
That's
he's a weasel.
fine, but doesn't.
He's a dick. He's a weasel. He's an
Oh,
asswipe. Look at me. I have to wear my uniform when he wears a shirt and tie like a regular guy when he goes to work. P.S. in the White House. But that's okay.
Oh boy.
No. Look at me. I'm very important.
Now you're going on the tangent.
I'm just saying.
We're trying to avoid the tangents in this
No tangent,
discussion
I'm just
because we're
saying.
gonna
Real. I'm
we're
keeping
gonna
it real.
quash.
This is real to me. This is where it is.
I like I said, I have no issue with the way you feel,
I know.
but I don't like the aggression. I don't like that. That's
just don't
very
like it.
it's very unsettling for me.
That's
I'm
not
not-
to you.
I know it's not to me.
All to you. It's just you know what?
I just don't like the aggression.
Dude, don't be a weasel. Just
And
don't
then
be a
and then
weasel.
end it.
That's Lieutenant.
We don't need to
Lieutenant
flip the
Colonel
bird
dude.
to anybody.
Oh, sorry, Lieutenant Colonel dude.
Oh,
Wait a
Lord.
minute, I got that thing again.
Oh Lord. You're not even listening to me anymore.
Wait,
no, now I have to put a stop to it because you're not even listening
What?
to me.
I'm sorry. What?
We can.
But
No.
give me the whole story, and then we'll figure it out.
And that's the thing is that
That's the bottom
who
line.
has the time. You get to see a little bit of it in the lunchroom, but I think that, like I said, whatever side you're on, a lot of people just make the decision without hearing
No, and
anything.
that's-
How do you
and
know? I
that's-
mean, like you have to listen to everything.
And
It's
that's
just-
correct. I mean, whether Weasel Boy gets up there and says his thing, or Bizarro Kellyanne Conway says her thing, or Ambassador What's His Futz says his thing today.
I have
you
to
know
look
what?
up that girl's name.
I just,
that'd be nuts.
you know what? You got to hear it all.
me
You have to hear it all. You put it in the shaker. And then you pour it out, and there's your solution. There's what it is. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be when it's all said and done, and that's just it. I I'm not going to say I don't care how it ends up because, there is a degree
either
of
way,
caring.
it's just
But
this-
either way, I'm with you. Let's get on with this. And what they're going to do, they're going to stretch this thing out
Yeah,
for
I'm
as long as
tired.
they can. That's enough already. It's really,
I'm trying
really
to find this
enough.
lady. This lady that I need to find this lady's name because it was driving me crazy today. Oh my God! And it's just I can't even find her because it was like just today. It's the first time I'd ever seen her. I'd never seen her before, and she just was nuts. But they gave her a platform, and I'm like, who is this lady? How would I look her up? I put spokeswoman. That didn't work.
No,
Trump. Wait, let me see. Commentary. It was today. It was like this morning.
impeachment hearing commentary.
Okay, let's try that. Because I need to find this woman. I need to understand this woman because I don't understand how he put her in this position. Like, I don't know.
That's what he said.
What'd you say? Yeah, impeachment. What would you say?
Impeachment
Commentary.
commentary. There you go.
Let's see if I can find this woman. Now I'm focused to find her because I just didn't get it. Live updates. See, you can see sick of Trump impeachment hearings. Yeah, I think everybody is.
It's enough. I mean,
It's just a lot.
right or wrong, this or that. Please, it's enough.
I still can't
It's
find
really
her.
enough.
Where is she? I'm gonna put blonde woman. I can't find her.
Blonde woman, impeachment hearing.
I don't know. I don't know how to find her. I don't know how to find this woman. I don't remember what it was I was watching her on. It was. Oh man, let me go to news. It's not working. The person in
Impeachment hearing
drag.
participants.
Meet the drag queen. No. I don't understand. No, I can't find this lady who was talking today. Who are you?
Oh my!
We'll never find her.
It's true.
I have no idea how to find this woman.
It's a big.
I thought her
question
name was
mark.
maybe Amy. Uh-oh. Anyway, I don't know. So what's going on with you other than this crap?
Oh,
Anything good?
What is going on with me?
Anything that's cheery and fun?
Cheery and fun.
Yeah.
No. Not unfun and uncheery, just, regular day in the life stuff. STOUGH stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Just going about my business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's a good thing.
What?
The Monmouth Rage football team.
Oh,
Yes, it is the fall scrimmage season, don't you know?
don't you know?
Yeah, don't you know? We're gonna have
How long do you play until? When does your season end?
the season is this season's not it's not underway yet. It's we're off season. It's fall. It's off season. We're just doing some scrimmaging against some other squads here just to get some work in. The season doesn't begin until middle of March. We're going to probably be about 3-4 weeks away from the schedule. But we had a scrimmage 2 weeks ago against the league championship runners-up. We have one this coming Saturday down at the Jackson Justice Complex off of Veterans Highway in Jackson against the Carbon County. There you go. Carbon County, Pennsylvania, which is Lehighton.
What's it called?
From.
Carbon Copy?
Carbon County,
Oh,
Pennsylvania. The Carbon County Savages. Oh, savage. They're so savage.
hard
Stop it.
copy.
Carbon County. Carbon County.
Hard copy.
Hard cheese.
What?
That's a Frank Burns line. Come on, Frank. Give it up, would you? Hard cheese. Won't do it.
Is that MASH?
Yes.
Okay. I can't believe I actually knew that.
So at any rate, we're going to have a scrimmage against the Carbon County Savages down at Jackson Justice Complex Saturday, 1 o'clock. Jackson Justice, just off of exit 21 of I-95, 195.
This is New Jersey, by the way.
This is in New Jersey. New Jersey and you, perfect.
To our
together.
listeners who aren't in New Jersey.
New Jersey. It's just a few miles from Great Adventure. And we're doing good things there. We're doing a food drive, prior to Thanksgiving. We're also participating in the Toys for Tots initiatives as well. Matter of fact, in 2 weeks from this Saturday, the same Carbon County Savages will be hosting a Toys for Tots scrimmage tournament to where, and this is how, what I mean by scrimmaging is the coaches are
I know
on
what
the,
scrimmage means.
well, the coaches are on the field.
Okay.
Rather than just on the sidelines, okay? And it's controlled. You know, you go 10 offense against their defense, of course, and then you flip. You go 10 plays defense against their offense. Take a break, do it again, and then maybe you do about a half an hour, 45 minutes of live, you know, 1st and 10, let's score. And then when you score, the other team gets the ball, 1st and 10, and down the field the other way. This is what we're doing. So we have this weekend and on December 7th for the Toys for Tots initiative. So, you know, we're...
Because the holidays are coming, which I freaking can't even believe.
It's nuts. It's just crazy.
It's
so
nuts.
We're shutting it down. NVTS, nuts. We're shutting it down. The fall scrimmage season after the 7th of December. And we won't get together, if not the 4th, probably the 11th of January. You're like, January for practice? And I'm like, yeah, because...
Cold.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. We start in March. There's only 2 months from when we start practice until when the season begins. We got to go. We got to get things moving and grooving. So we're busy. We're busy. You know, Frank and I, we're busy. Frank's very busy.
Frank!
With the
Is he
coaches.
still at Amazon?
He is. Not right now, but...
What do you mean not right now?
well, he's not there now.
Oh, like this moment, you mean?
At 6:04.
Yeah, no, but he's there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Maggie thought that was the lyrics to the Van Halen song.
Oh, Cannonball? I heard that.
Amazon. Dun, 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 no. Cannonball.
I heard that the
No.
other day, and I thought of her.
For 31 years, we have a colleague or former colleague who sang Panama from Van Halen as Cannonball.
Cannonball. But you
And
know what?
she
I was listening.
Convinced that was the lyric.
I was listening, and I was
31
like, I
years.
could get how you could mistake it for that. I was
See?
listening close. Like I was listening really close.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm really happy. Can I just say this?
Go ahead.
You're gonna laugh,
Please.
but you know, whatever.
Oh.
You're gonna laugh at me.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, you will.
Why?
I'm really happy that Mike Sorrentino, the situation, is out of jail. That's all I gotta say.
Why are you happy that he's out of jail?
Well, because he was in jail for 8. He did his full sentence of 8 months for tax evasion.
8 whole months.
8 whole months to the day. He never got out early, and I thought it was just kind of crazy. I think the judge was making an example of him because there were people who got got less time than he did for assault. And I was thinking, like, the guy who punched Snooki in the face only got probation.
Tell that I'll laugh
And
at.
how do you get 8 months? Why don't punch
Sorry.
people in the face?
No,
But I'm
don't
just
do
saying,
that.
like, assault.
It just sounds
You should
funny.
never ever get assault charges less than, I don't know. It was weird. But anyways, I'm glad he's out. So, and I like the Jersey Shore. I don't care. I know people hate it, or people from Jersey hate it. I think.
I'm not a
I
fan.
like
gotta
it.
Tell you.
Oh, I like it. I don't know.
It's
It's
just nothing but drama. I
Well,
don't-
it's super drama,
Ugh.
but that's the whole point, you know, isn't it?
No thanks.
But I like it. I don't know. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for what it is. Don't look at it like it's like, you know, this is a literary masterpiece
Well,
or anything.
no, it certainly is not.
just
you know, and I've
pure
known
fun.
people kind of, not exactly, but kind of like that. Some folks.
The
boy.
Guidos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from North Jersey,
Yeah.
where I spent a lot of time, probably up till the early 90s, probably late 80s, early 90s, down the shore a lot. There were some folks with whom we hung that were cut kind of out of that bolt of cloth. North Jersey, Italian, loud, gregarious. Hey, how you doing? Hey, come on over. You want a coffee? Let's go. Let's go to Seaside. We'll go to Razzles. Sleep.
Yeah.
Late.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just like the drama. I think it's funny.
Ugh.
It makes me laugh. Look, you know what? There's
Stressful to
not
me.
a lot to laugh about in this world. So if I can, it makes me
They
laugh.
certainly
then
will supply
yeah, it'll make me laugh.
some comedic relief.
I'm
that's
just
for
glad he's
sure.
out of jail. I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
he is, too.
He's married now and he has like a nice looking girlfriend. Let me tell you something. That's
So he's
totally
married
changed
and has a girlfriend.
to a nice
But
looking
hey,
woman. I was gonna say.
Video.
But you know what? You know who James Vanderbeek is?
That name is very familiar. Why
So
don't know
he
why.
was the star of a show called Dawson's Creek,
Yes.
and
I saw it for like 8 minutes, but go ahead.
yeah, and he's been married for a long time. He has 6 children. Oh yeah, and he's on Dancing with the Stars right now. Now, how effed up is this? So his wife, who was like 5 months pregnant, like pretty far along, she had a really bad miscarriage and was in the hospital and nearly died. And they showed this dramatic story. And James Van Der Beek was crying, and it was like really sad. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to hear about a miscarriage.
Monday
but then
on a very special Dawson's Creek.
it was sad. And then at the end of so then it shows him on Dancing with the Stars, and then they voted him off. I swear to God, this is true. And it's the judges. It wasn't even like the.
No, that's funny.
It wasn't even like the public, because the public, he was in the bottom, but it was the judge's last decision who to keep and who to go.
Right.
So he tells this whole story at the beginning of the show, not like then. It was like at the very beginning of the show.
On a very special Dawson's
How
Creek.
his wife miscarried his child,
Right.
and his
That
wife
is
nearly
bad, though.
died, and he
Oh,
was
that's
crying,
bad.
and everyone was
That's
crying. It was so sad, and I'm like, this is so sad. This poor kid. And then he's like, he didn't want to dance. He wanted to quit the show.
Well, there you go.
But his wife said, "I want you to dance because that's I want you. That's what you want to do." And he said, "I'm doing this for my wife and
So they did him a
my
favor,
baby who
kind
died."
of.
Right?
Yeah.
No, because then they voted him off.
Yeah, they did him a favor. Now he gets to go home with
You
his
just
wife.
found out his wife nearly died and miscarried your baby, and then you vote him off. That's the most effed
So
up
he
thing
can
I
go
ever saw.
home and be with his wife.
But she wanted him to continue.
But of course she did, because she's being the the good spouse and all this. The faithful soldier.
The show's nearly over. He would have been on it for only maybe another week or so. I don't know, but I just thought that was really.
enough.
It was
Go home,
like
be with your wife, do
It
the
was
right
like,
thing.
oh my God, this is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. Oh, this is really horrible. Like let's double his pain. Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
That's why I don't
boy.
watch that show. By the way, I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. I
don't
saw it on Update.
watch
but
it either.
I don't watch it because I think it's really, really cheesy.
Masked
oh, sorry,
Singer.
but
Nope.
I don't watch that either. Too cheesy. Oh, we talked
Nope.
about that last season.
Oh.
Too cheesy.
Horrible.
Like I watch So You Think You Can Dance, and the reason I watch that show is because it's kids, like young kids
Right.
that aren't famous, that aren't in videos. They're just like young kids off from a dance studio, and they come in and they compete against each
Well, that
other.
resonates
and
with you.
yeah, it means something. And I've
course.
seen people on there that I actually knew or had been trained by people I knew, and to watch them rise up, and I just love it. And they're young and
That's a little
they have
different.
dreams.
That's
It's
a little
different.
different. I mean,
But
you
to watch like a
you
soap
got,
opera,
Sally and Jimmy off the
yeah,
street, so
yes.
to speak, just Joe regular people, and all
Right.
of a sudden they're like, wow, they're good.
I like that. And it's uplifting, it's beautiful, and that
Right.
could show you like if you have a dream, and I love that. But I don't want to watch some soap opera star dance the waltz. Like
Right,
I just
don't care.
don't.
Yeah.
I'm
no.
sorry, I don't. And as a dance teacher, you would think I'd be into it. I'm just not. I never really was into it.
Dance
Is that
teacher.
bad? Dance teacher.
The dance
Yeah, I just was
fever.
never.
Hi, I'm Denny
never into
Terrio.
it.
My eyes are slit closed because I've done all kinds of coke. And this is
well,
emotion.
he went to Studio 54.
You think?
Come on.
Denny Terrio. He was high as a kite on every show. You
I was
could
watching
see
something
his
about
eyes were
Studio
really
54 recently. What was I watching? I was watching something.
Steve
You-
Rubel.
Well, you know what's interesting, and you know this. I hung out in New York in the early 90s,
Right.
And that's way past the
Studio
Studio 54 days.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a lot of clubbing in the early 90s, like raw, heavy clubbing.
I bet.
And there was
That's when raves were starting to
very
become
much so.
popular.
Yeah, very much so.
The raves like the kids do.
Yeah. And I remember I used to go to all the clubs, and they were talking about the
Oh.
clubs in the early 90s.
Phone call.
Uh-oh.
Phone call.
Is it Rob Winter?
It could be.
Who is it?
Have we got somebody on the phone?
Hello,
Well, hello, Roberto. Is that you?
that is me.
There he is!
There he is.
Rob Winter. Dude, your
How you
ears must have
doing?
been ringing last week. I was talking about you last week on our show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I hope it was all good stuff.
Not at all. You know I love you, Rob. You know that. I don't know if you were listening earlier, but what we were talking about is the thing that makes this special, my relationship with John special, is, I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican. And, one thing I've always said, and this is the way I feel, I respect everybody, and I respect your opinions. I respect his opinions, and that's just the way it is. That's the way I feel, and maybe the other Democrats would disagree with me, but that's how I am. I just like to look at everything, right?
I agree.
Right.
That's it.
And so, there was something that was you put it on your Facebook so many times, it was driving me crazy. And I wanted to comment, but I don't like to put comments on political statements because I think it just opens up a can of worms, and I'm not into that at all. And me and Mike didn't talk. We didn't speak for
months.
Mike Zahar, we didn't speak for months because of I put a political comment on his Facebook, and he lost his shit. So, but we made up. We made up. But so yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like I have to respect everybody's opinion, and that's the way I take everything. Everybody's opinion is because what it means to you is what's important, right?
Right.
Right. And
Right.
So you tend to be
bottom line.
Huh?
People believe what they want to believe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, and then there's the truth.
See? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's your truth. I know. But the thing that drove me crazy, and I think John had told you this, but you had put about and you've posted it a few times, more than once. This might have been the second or third time
You're on a bit
I've
of a
seen
roll,
it.
Robbie boy.
But it was about how opposed you were to the illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants getting driver's licenses. And I remember thinking to myself, I hope he understands that it's actually a really good thing. And I'm going to tell you why before you go on. I'm going to let you go on your tangent in a second, but I'm going to tell you why. If you read how they're going to do it, they actually have to go through the government to do it. It's not like, so they actually get a card that says on it that they're illegal. It actually says that on there. So it's not like they just say, here's a license, go drive, have a good time. You're actually monitoring. So it is actually a way to monitor undocumented immigrants. Because as you know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands in this country already. So irregardless, they're driving, and they're driving illegally, which is not a good thing for anybody. It's not a good thing for anybody on the road. It's not a good thing for anybody who gets their license. Your daughter just got her license. It's not good to be around those kind of people. That's not good. But let me tell you something. If you had a way to track it, and you know exactly where they, like if you do something like illegal turn, and then a cop pulls you over, and you have one of those cars, they know exactly where you're coming from, who you are. I mean, you probably could get deported, or whatever. But in my head, I was like, how is this so bad? Because it's a way to track them. And that's why I was curious to see your opinion on that.
I feel that illegal immigrants in this country getting a driver's license, that's like a gateway to everything else that we're entitled to as citizens of this country. The government allowing them to get their driver's licenses before their citizenship, to me, is total bullshit. They're first and foremost, they're in this country illegally. They're wrong. They deserve to be deported if they're not making a conscious attempt to acquire their citizenship.
Okay, we'll go back to that.
My parents, my father came from Germany. My mother was from Paramaribo, Suriname. And both of them worked hard and got their citizenship.
So both of your parents were immigrants, yes?
Over 100 years to all the Irish were immigrating to this country.
Correct.
They accepted American life, the American flag, and American citizenship to be here.
Right.
So why should it be any different when we're paying through the nose as taxpayers to finance these
agree with
people?
That. Okay.
When there's thousands, millions of homeless, and not just homeless veterans who are citizens who put on a uniform and fought for this country that are living under any bridge in a major city.
Okay.
That's the way I feel about it.
No, and it's okay.
Okay?
Yeah, and that's okay I agree with you. Now, going back, and we talked about this too, to get into this country when your parents or grandparents were alive was a lot easier. Like, so, you know how easy it was back then to come to this country? It was so easy. And I know you said they worked their ass off. I get that. They worked their ass off when they got here. You have to understand, it was so easy to get here. I used to travel between Niagara Falls, New York, and Niagara Falls, Canada, because I had a friend in Niagara Falls, New York. And there was they never even looked at your ID. You know what that was? The 90s. Wasn't that long ago? They didn't even look at they didn't even look at your ID. Where are you going? I'm going to Niagara Falls to hang out with my friend. Okay, thanks, bye. That's it. You come back.
And we talked
you
about
buy
that a little bit last week.
Yeah.
I mean, the status quo, for many reasons, has changed within the last, I'm going to say, 10, 15, 20 years.
Significantly,
Okay?
especially since September 11th. I mean, that was
that's been a big one,
right.
of course. Plus, combine any of that and or related type of activity along with the available technology to keep track of, to register, to whatever you want to call it, those who are coming in and out.
Right.
You know, it's easier, maybe, different, certainly. You know, and again, it's a different world. You know, for basically for 40 years, from the mid 20s to the mid 60s, immigration was all but shut down because like people who would come over from wherever they would come, primarily Europe back then, there was a problem with assimilation. You know, from say the late 1800s to the mid 1920s, where people were here and they were having trouble assimilating. It was, like 20 pounds of people in a 10-pound sack, so to speak. And they
but they don't have a problem assimilating nowadays. These illegal immigrants, they are coming into this country and they are collecting benefits that they're not even entitled to.
You just said exactly what I wanted you to say. You just said it exactly.
It's ridiculous what we have to pay for when all they have to do is become a citizen. Get a job.
All they have to do, it takes 10 years to become a citizen now. You know that, right? 10 years.
What's that?
Takes 10 years. And you said
10 years.
And you said coming in. That was the key words you just said, coming in. So yes, I said this to John. I'm all for stopping it. Absolutely 100%.
Absolutely.
But my thing is, what do you do with everyone who's here? Because there's so many that are here and they've been here. And I said, what is wrong with, and this is the problem, what is wrong with making every single one of them come to an office or an embassy or whatever and plead their case? If they've broken any law, if they've done anything shady, if they refuse to be educated or whatever it may be, they have to go back. But if you present yourself and you say, "I've been here a really long time, and I did charity work. I pay my taxes to the country. I've never been in trouble. I've never committed a crime. Why can't you give them like a pass,
or at least a ride on the express,
or a what do you call it? What did we say? Call it a like a temporary. What do we call it?
A little special dispensation, so to speak.
So, like, they are, but they're trying to be. So, like, I'm just saying that I hate, people get so upset about it, but I'm saying the problem is, it's not the people, like, you want to build the wall and keep people out? Okay, that's great. But what about the people that have been here for years and years and years? That's what I'm concerned about. That's what I wonder about. And that's what I'm asking you.
Here's the thing. If you want to come into this country, I have zero tolerance, or I shouldn't say zero tolerance. I don't have anything against anybody who wants to come into this country the right way, through a legal port of entry, and register.
You can't. It doesn't work. You don't register. It doesn't work that way.
You're talking about people who have been in this country for years and years and years. Well, if they've been here for years and years and years, what's holding them up from becoming a citizen?
Because you can't. You know that, right? You can't.
Why? Why can't you?
Well, first of all,
my mother did. My father did.
What year? How long ago?
Gosh. Well, my father became a citizen shortly after he came to this country.
The citizenship, that's different. We're not talking about citizenship.
That was in the late 50s, early 60s.
And we're not talking about citizenship.
My mother got her citizenship when I was little. I would say mid-70s.
It takes
but
to get a work visa, just a work visa. That's not a citizenship. It's not a green card. Just a work visa can take from 1 year to 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Then once you get that, then you're legal to work in this country. Okay. Then you have to apply for a green card, which takes 3 years. Okay. Once you get the green card, then you can get your citizenship, which takes up to 10 years. So you're looking at about 20 years for a lot of, and this is the truth. I researched this, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why people are illegal. That's the reason why.
They don't make a conscious effort to try.
How do you know they're? How do you know they're not, though? How do you know they're not?
Just like everybody else.
But that can't apply to everybody. So do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, yes, there are ones that are here illegally, don't give a crap, breaking the law and doing everything wrong. Yeah, get rid of them. Bye. I'm all set. See you later. I'm cool with that. I'm talking about the ones, how about the one who served our country and did 2 tours and then got deported? How about that one?
Yeah. Well,
how'd that happen?
Hypocrisy at its finest. That's hypocrisy at its finest.
Right.
Because if that person was illegal, then he shouldn't have been in the military to begin with.
Right, but this is the issue. There's so many problems with immigration, so many, and I can't even tell you. And I was saying to him, I actually know someone whose parents brought the family over illegally, and they had a child and ended up getting legal. It's a long story, but I know these people, and they're good people, and they've served the country well and whatever. But what I'm saying is that there's so many friggin' problems with immigration, and they cannot get it straight. They cannot get it straight. And I don't understand why, when people are so against it, I feel like you have to really dig and look at the problem. And it's not about the people trying to come in now. You know,
it is a sensitive issue, and it's ongoing because of the wall, and I use the term wall, between Republicans and Democrats. The Democrats want to continue to allow this inflow of people into the country, okay, where the Republicans want to control it. They want that wall.
You don't think the Democrats want to control illegals coming in this country?
These people come swimming across the Rio Grande, they hop the wall, and they disappear into society. Do you think that's the right way?
And you know how long that's been happening for? Years and years. You know, it's just, I just think that it's so much more than black and white. It really is. I just think that there's so much more to it. And I think if you dig deep enough, I was telling John a story. You find this interesting. A person, I can't say the name or anything like that. I gotta be right about it. But this person came to this country illegally, got married to someone that she didn't care about at all, just to get her green card. Got the green card, got divorced, remarried, and now married to someone, and actually committed a heinous crime. And never got deported.
Wow.
Never. And still, actually, there was a second. The other one was a DUI, so that's not a bad one. But this one's pretty bad. And how'd that happen?
They're deported. They come back into the country. They're deported again. They come back into the country, and they're deported a third and fourth and fifth time.
Yeah.
Because there is no control at our borders.
And there's
no
control.
That's the whole point of building a wall. It's not to lock them out. It's to give them a specific point of entry.
But they have to work.
They can come into this country, but they have to come in
this
the
country
right way.
Has to work on the way they bring people in, and I am for what you're saying. Coming in at one of the points, I get that, but you can't just go to the point and say, "Oh, I want to come in." The process is ridiculous now, like ridiculous.
Well, this is brought to you by the people who couldn't even put together a website to sign up for health care correctly. Okay?
Yeah.
That's another whole offshoot of this entire topic. And Tracy, you're right. And Rob, you're also right. There's different forms of correct here. To me, and listening to these last few minutes and then musing over this over the last week, The big problem, and Rob, you kind of glanced into this without maybe even realizing it, is that there is so much that has been unchecked, not done, not even undone, not done, or not even considered or thought about with this whole process. Same thing with you, Tracy, to where now you're right. There is very little, unfortunately. There is, even though there technically is, where the rubber meets the road, there is very little or a lot less than there should be black and white. The issue is you have to, whoever you would be, you meaning small y, you have to get some mechanism to begin to be established that's better, that's more efficient, more effective. I don't know what that is. That's above my pay grade right now. I'm too old to start in on this. 20 years ago, you might have had me. But there's got to be a mechanism to where you begin to reel all of this in, so to speak.
Yeah.
So this broad, wide, this wide swath of quagmire, so to speak, gets brought in a little bit, brought in a little bit, and brought in a little bit. And then maybe in my grandchildren's lifetime, there's some degree, I don't have any grandchildren yet, by the way, there's some modicum of semi-quasi reasonability to where this whole thing goes. Rob, you remember the story? And I saw this, and I mentioned this last week with Tracy. There was a chap from Mexico. And God love him on one hand, but you know what? You nailed this one too. He was here, I can't remember, I'm going to say North Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, something like that. He was in the country for 20, 25, maybe 30 years. He owned and ran a very successful and good restaurant out there, okay? And clearly it's a business, so there's taxes, local, taxes, state, taxes, federal. I don't know how he did it, but he ran the business, paid the taxes, and he was here for all that time. Now, is he a nefarious character looking to, do mother raping and father raping and all this bevy of BS? No, he's a good guy. But like you just mentioned, here it is again, what effort was made since, I'm going to just spitball here, the mid-'80s, maybe the late 80s, what effort was made by this gentleman to get correct, so to speak? Attempt. I'm not saying to get the citizenship that now takes a long time, but to begin and get through some process. And the answer is there was none. That was the big problem. And they showed on television, I forget if it was the news or what, but they showed the family crying and all upset, and understandably so. But the bottom line of it is, A, he was here illegally, and 2, there was no effort made.
Was his wife American?
Nothing.
No, I don't believe so.
And if he would have at least put in some sort of an application for citizenship,
there is no application.
A copy of that,
there is no application.
I honestly believe that the law should allow to grant him that temporary asylum, for lack of a better word, until the application is processed.
But at least here now is the conundrum.
A temporary visa.
Here's the conundrum, Rob. You ready? There's no application.
There is no application.
The $64,000 question is, okay, so, and this may be part of why his situation was what it was. What do I do to get the process underway?
There's different applications to apply for citizenship in this country. But in order to get the application and fill it out, you have to have certain criteria. Okay? If you are a doctor or of a medical practice, scientist, things of that nature, you can apply. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but you can apply. If you're an actor or singer or dancer or something like that, you can apply. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but you can. There has to be, a certain teacher, professor, you have to have, you can't just go, hey, I'm a plumber and I want my citizenship. I'm going to fill out an application. That doesn't exist.
Well, I was going to say,
there's no such thing.
What do the Tracy Parises, John Thielons, and Rob Winters of the world who come from wherever they come
there's
from?
nothing.
What do they do?
It doesn't exist. Wow. It just doesn't exist. You have to have a certain, what they do, and I've done my research on this, trust me, a lot, and you have to possess something that says, I'm coming into this country because I'm going to contribute something different from everybody else. You know how hard that is? So if you're a blue collar guy and you can't, there's no paper. There's no like, I want to be a citizen because I like America. That doesn't exist.
Which brings me back to Doe, meaning, and Rob, what do you think? There's, again, because of all this gray, there needs to be, and again, this is way above my pay grade, but there needs to be some sort of a mechanism whereby you can take this big, giant, wide swath and reel it in over whatever amount of time so that, you know, Joe regular guy or Josephine regular gal can appropriately, legally, above boardedly apply.
Yeah.
And if
Exactly.
back to my restaurant friend, if Buddy had applied or had some wherewithal or ability to get into the mechanism, so to speak, then they wouldn't have shipped his ass back to Mexico.
He probably didn't have the skills for that.
I don't know that he did. I don't know that he did. I know what I do remember to whatever degree, because this is a couple of years ago, I remember seeing this story, is that dude was a Cracker Jack cook. He was a Cracker Jack chef, so much so that he opened this restaurant, highly successful.
But here's the thing. There's a whole bunch of Americans that share that talent.
I understand.
And you can't. So and that is.
He's a nice guy.
That's the
See,
biggest.
I'm not bleeding on my heart here, but he was a nice guy. He was a good neighbor. He was a good citizen. He did except for that one thing, he did pretty near everything correctly, and then back.
And that's the biggest misrepresentation of. And this is when I get angry because they say, "Why didn't they do it properly? Why didn't they do it properly?" It's really, really, really hard.
Meanwhile,
it's really hard.
Meanwhile, that son of a bitch, who killed Kate Steinle out in San Francisco last year, like you just said, Rob, he was deported once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, and he came back in and he saw this mother and daughter walking around in San Francisco,
and he's disgusting, and he has no business being here. But that's what you need to monitor. That's the stuff you need to take care of. Those dirtbags.
Again, the mechanism to reel it in.
That's first and foremost. I mean, if you're an illegal immigrant and you're a criminal, you commit a heinous crime.
Right.
Yes, you know what? We'll give them an ID card, and we'll also put them in a national database.
Right.
And we'll build that wall. And
so they can't come back in.
Come through that port of entry. Then guess what? His face, his name, and everything about him will pop up, and they can turn him over.
Right. Yes. This is what I'm saying. There has to be some sort of system that is developed that can weed out the garbage and keep whomever will contribute and pay their taxes and help the homeless.
Buddy the restaurant guy.
Those guys.
Lovely guy. But now he's back across the border because of that one thing.
You need that. We just need that so much. And I just wish there was a way that this country can come up with a system exactly like what you just said, Rob, where you're scanned and it's like, I don't know, it's like futuristic where you have like a scan and they scan you,
It's not be that difficult.
Who are you? Where did you come from? Okay, why are you here? What did you do? What's your record? Oh, you robbed a bank? Well, goodbye.
Yeah, peace.
See ya.
I say not only put them in a database, but microchip them. That way you can pull them up on a satellite and know where they are on the entire planet.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Here, and I just now thought of this, and again, this is not a John being glass half empty. It truly isn't, but it's just, again, the name of the show is Real Town, so this is just me being real. I firmly believe that there is a way to do this, again, above my pay grade, but don't doubt me. And it may not be in our lifetime, Rob, okay? We're all about the same age within a few years of one another. It may not be in our lifetime, but I don't doubt that it would, I'm almost reticent to say this, but it's real, that something really, really widespreadedly bad would have to happen, and then all of a sudden the so-called wizards of smart would come out from whatever rocks that they've been hiding under, banding together, whether it's blue state, red state, elephant or donkey, saying, okay, we have the ability to do this. Where have you been the last 30 years?
But after September 11th, that should have been done.
It should
that was the catalyst. That was the catalyst. That's when it should have been done.
It should have happened the next day.
Yep.
Correct.
It should have been put in place September 12th.
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody was civil for 18 seconds on the 12th of September, and then by the time we got to Rocktober, it was like, screw you.
Like
I
you
got
learn from
mine.
like those people came into this country and were training to fly in this country. They were training to
Makes my
fly.
skin
Hello.
crawl, I have to tell you.
And if that wasn't lesson enough to change things, what more needs to happen? I don't understand it. I just don't. And that's why I get so angry, because I know there's good people.
All these things, they were all red flags with these guys. And I've watched a lot of documentaries about 9/11.
Yes.
These guys went to learn how to fly at these flight schools.
Yes, they did.
But only wanted to learn how to take off and fly a plane.
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't want to learn how to
No, they
land.
didn't. Right. You're right. Yep.
I mean, what kind of red flag do you need?
Right.
Okay? These guys obviously did not look American.
No.
We've had issues with the Middle East for decades. Okay? And now here's guys, I want to learn how to fly a plane. Only fly, no land.
Yeah, hello. Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take 1/3 off of your tuition then, because it's taking off flying and landing. So we'll do.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is like, that should have, like, all that stuff that happened to this country. I mean, that was like all those lives lost. I mean, that was a travesty. I lost someone in that on that day, and it's, you think that they would say, let's fix this. Let's fix this.
Well, they said it.
But they didn't.
There's one thing to say. You can say all you want, but the trick is in the doing. You have to put it together and put the rubber onto the road, and they just didn't.
And the Trump wall will keep people out.
Have you guys been to the 9/11 memorial?
I have.
In New York?
I have.
You have?
Yes.
I have not.
Tracy, do you remember one of the display cases that showed a woman's purse with the entire
Yes.
including her New Jersey state driver's license?
I do remember that.
That was somebody that my son knew from his school.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
And I took my kids last year to the city, and I made it a point to take them to the 9/11 memorial, and it was somewhat emotional for him. My wife had pointed it out to us, but it was emotional for him because she was, I'm trying to remember the relationship there, the sister of one of the principal or assistant principal there.
Yeah.
But he knew her.
Wow.
So that was a little ironic, watching my son stand there and look at all of the contents of her purse and seeing her driver's license with her face on it.
Did you even know that was there, or did you just come across it when you were there? Did you know?
We knew that she had died in the towers. We were unaware that her purse and its contents were on display. Nobody told us that.
Yeah.
See, I want to go to that, but I can't. I just don't know if I can. I went to high school with a guy who didn't make it.
You should.
I know I should because I've been in the buildings countless times when they were when they were up, but it's just
it's hard for you.
I don't know why. I mean,
it's a somber experience.
I'm sorry.
It's a somber experience.
Yeah.
I can only
imagine. Like being at church. It's just it's so quiet and I don't know how to describe the feeling, but I mean, it's something that I think every American should see. If you go to the city, you should visit the 9/11 memorial.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been in much, if any, in the last dozen or so years. I have to say that it's been very few and extremely far between versus beforehand for no particular reason. Especially growing up around here.
We're going to go, John. I'm going to take you.
Oh, geez. Yes, but boy, it just. Oh.
I'm going to take you, John.
Oh, it just upsets me to no end.
You will go.
Damn it!
I'm gonna make him go.
Like I said,
Right.
and I think, besides all the stuff that's on display there, probably the most poignant part is being outside where the waterfalls are, that they made out of the footprints of the buildings.
Yeah.
That's to me I don't want to say awesome. It's enlightening.
Do you know there's a memorial in Robbinsville? Because we lost a woman from Robbinsville in the towers, and it's actually a piece of the tower is actually displayed in Robbinsville.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. I've heard about it. I've never been to it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, I walk by it every day because it's on my path when I walk my dog, so I see it every single day. It's just very surreal when I see it. Very surreal.
And again, here with all of this in mind, okay, not that this was an upbeat, lilty, fun, yay conversation. It's serious, and it should be. But did you just feel, the both of you, how when we started talking about 9/11, how everything just sort of went right down a little bit, okay, and appropriately so. And again, which brings me back to what you had said, Rob. There on the 11th or the 12th, there they all were down on Capitol Hill, holding hands and singing "Kumbaya freaking Ya." Okay?
Yeah.
And that lasted for the proverbial 15 minutes, and then it was back to the BS as usual.
Yeah.
Whereas, again, there has to be something wherewithal, some true actual ability to assemble a system, a mechanism, a gizmo, literally, and or figuratively, or both, to put a thumb on this and say,
fix it.
Again, to reel it in, to bring it in from very wide over however period of time, and narrow it down and get it done. Get it done.
Fix it.
Oh.
My opinion of government is biased because I'm prior military service. But my opinion is this. I honestly believe that there should be more military influence in governmental decisions. Because let's put it out on the table. Anybody with a military background or a military attitude, way of thinking, is going to say, you know what, we're going to do this. And it doesn't matter if it hurts somebody's feelings. You're talking about everybody going down to Washington and singing "Kumbaya."
Right.
That's the problem. There's too many people that are so soft and, we don't want to hurt these people. We want to love them. We want to welcome them in. Nobody's saying that they can't come in. Okay?
You're just saying do it properly.
There has to be stringent policy in place on how to do it. You want something that everybody's going to understand, and we're going to control any more inbound immigrants into this country, then what we need to do is implement it and then let the world know this is how you come into this country.
Right.
If you decide that you're going to try and come into this country any other way, prepare to be deported. You're not going to be let in. You're going to get kicked out, period. There is no exceptions.
Right.
Plain and simple.
You're being very mean, Rob, and it's gonna offend people who are just trying to live a good life.
I'm on the other side, and I agree with it. I have no issue with the people. I think that's right. I don't think that. My issue is to weed out the crap that's already here. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't care about. You want to put that wall up? Fine, have a good time. My thing is, how do we? Because I know there's people that are good people,
right?
And there are people that are crap people. How do you get the crap out? What do you do?
The mechanism, you narrow it down.
How do you narrow it down?
Nobody wants to do it.
Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it, Rob.
I'm telling you, probably, and there's no way to take a census and find out, what percentage is good and what percentage is bad.
Correct.
I'm just going to say it like this. If we can find as much of the bad in that total whole thing called illegal immigration and get rid of just that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will relieve so much pressure on American society, the American economy.
Yes.
Can recover. I mean, it's just the answer is so simple, but because we have so much pansy liberal bullshit going on, you know, like for example, what happened in New York City with stop and frisk.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Listen, if you look suspicious, then it's our right to stop you and start asking questions.
And here's the thing: don't look suspicious.
We should ask you to empty your pockets.
Right.
If you have nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Correct.
But yet, so many people were up in arms. Oh, you're profiling the black man or the Spanish man or whatever. You know, they stopped it. And even recently, Bloomberg, what is that his name? Yeah, yep. Bloomberg.
Yep.
Who's the one that's deciding he's going to run for president right now?
Please.
He actually apologized for it. He was the former mayor at that time.
Of course, and he got called on the carpet for that.
I'm sorry for coming up with something that's totally rational and should have been implemented in the first place. I'm sorry that didn't work out.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I just don't.
No, exactly. And here's the thing, Rob. I mean, you mentioned before about how long have we heard about? I mean, I can remember. I can remember my grandfather talking about it when I was a kid, and he's been gone for damn near 45 years. You know, there's just too many governmental fingers in the pie, so to speak. The 9 words that you never, ever, ever want to hear are, "Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help you." Wait, what? No. Shut the door.
It's a contradiction in words.
It's a shame because it shouldn't be like that, but it has gotten to that.
How you been feeling lately, Rob Winter, by the way?
How am I doing?
Yeah.
Well, ever since CB got booted out the door, a little bit better.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry.
But I mean, the bullshit still lingers.
Yeah, I know that.
And so I take my life one piece at a time. You know, when I first got assigned to that jerk, I was like, please, God, let me make it to my vacation in August. And I did.
Oh, shoot.
So now that he's gone, I'm saying, please, God, let me make it to my Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
So
you know what?
If I make it to that, I'm happy.
You need to be happy. And this is what I said as I grow older, and I talk to John about this all the time. My happiness is so important. And the happiness of the people that I love and care about is so important. All that other stuff is baloney. It's just bull. All of it. Just crap.
Noise.
You know, it's not worth it. Because let me tell you something. We're on this earth once, and then that's it. It's done. And why even go through the stress and the crap of it's not even worth it. It really isn't. It's for the paycheck. That's all it's for.
Yeah.
You know?
And for the nookie. Did it all for the nookie.
You know, that's the thing. It's like you were slaves to the paycheck. Without the paycheck, you think you'd be doing what you're doing if you weren't making that money? You wouldn't be doing that.
I'm still enslaved by my paycheck because it's never enough.
Right? Exactly. Right? We need to win the lottery or something. All of us. I don't know what we need to do, and then so we can all do. I can work with animals. You can do something. What would you want to do if you weren't doing what you were doing, Rob?
Well, you know what? If I won the lottery, my wife has always talked about, having a ranch and making it like a animal refuge.
Yeah, that's what I want. Tell you, that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to run a stable.
Yes.
And a shelter for cats and dogs.
Yes.
And all kinds of other animals and.
High five your wife for me. High five your wife for
So-
me, because that's exactly what I want, too.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to start the ranch.
You know, I already have a zoo in my house.
This I'm aware of. This I'm aware of.
Man, how's your read?
Yeah, so it's never decreasing. When one passes away,
You put
it
another
gets
one in there.
replaced with another.
You see, and you have
So-
that. John has his trains that he loves, and that's his thing. You know what I mean? Like, we all have these dreams of things we really want to do, but unfortunately, because we're all slaves to the paycheck, we have to do something we don't really want to do and tolerate what we've tolerated. And it's kind of sad that that's the way it is. It makes me very sad.
Yeah, it is. It's just that's the way life is, and you know, circling back to all this apocalyptic, impending politics that we were talking about. You know what? I mean, and here's another point that I make for my prior military service: if everything fell apart and it came down to it, I'm prepared to, you know, prep myself and my family, just put on a good pair of boots and throw a backpack on and walk the country, you know, and living day to day and living off the land.
Live off the grid, baby.
You know, Walking Dead.
That's right.
You been watching?
That's right. Off the grid, baby.
Wow.
That's it. Just surviving. That's what I'm saying. It's just you're on this earth once.
Well,
it's been forever since the last time we talked about Walking Dead.
I know. I love it. I'm happy with what's going on now. This season makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it now. I went.
Rick's character got killed off.
Yeah, I was sad, but it was necessary. I was sad, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Well, get on Carl's back. He's been talking about a happy hour for like months now.
Yes. You know what? We should get that together.
He mentioned this next Friday after Thanksgiving, I guess.
Oh,
or
that
maybe
might be
this Friday.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
All right. Well, let me talk to him and see if we can all just get together, put something together, all of us. Be one big happy family.
That's lovely.
Absolutely.
I'm emotionally gripped.
All right, my love. I'm glad you called in because you know I love you, and that's why we're all good people. Doesn't matter whatever you believe, but in the end, it's how you treat people, your heart, love, and just treating people good, and that's what matters.
Listen, we're all going toward the beacon, so to speak.
We're all going to the sea.
No, we're all heading toward the beacon, the lighthouse, the thing.
Yeah.
But we're just coming at it from maybe a different angle is all, and that's okay. I mean, I've said this a million times too. I heard my uncle say it years ago, and he's like, you know what, John, that's why Breyers makes vanilla and chocolate, because everybody's got a different taste, but you know what? It's all ice cream and it's good.
That's
so
right.
we're all going for ice cream, or we're all going toward the beacon. We're just approaching it from a different angle. That's all. We're good.
I love it. All right, my friend, we're going to sign off, but thank you for calling in. Miss you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rob. Man, I'll catch you tomorrow. I might be a little late. I got a dad thing I got to take care of, but we'll catch you.
No worries.
All
You guys take it easy, all right?
You got
Bye,
it.
Robbie.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
There he is.
Rob,
And there he goes.
I knew it was going to get wicked political. Once you get someone, you know it's coming. But.
Well, it's
you know what? But it needs to be said. I feel like we're in this climate now where it needs to be political. But
to a point, and here's the thing. Like I just said, we're all going toward the beacon, and not for anything. If you peel that conversation apart, okay. Just like with you and me, once we figured out where you and I were about stuff, we're really not that far off.
No, we're not really not.
We're really not.
No.
I mean, and even with our pal Rob, we're really
we're really not.
All of us not
and there's
that
some
far
things
off.
I agree with him on. I mean, you know what I mean? And I think
that's
there was.
okay.
I made a couple points when I said, about the document. I think because he didn't even comment when I said, you can't just do a document. It's
right.
like you have to have a special skill. Like it really is. I
Yeah.
mean, and for the blue collar guy. He can't. He just does. And yes, you're right. He shouldn't have just made the decision to just come in here and just do it. But for people who come from countries like that, and I didn't get to say that with Rob on the phone, but like we said last week, we have built this country as being the place of dreams. This is where dreams happen. And for the people out there in those countries, that's all they see. That's a dream. And they try to do what they can do to make that dream happen. And I can't fault people for that. I can't do it.
And sometimes they, rightly or wrongly, they take a shortcut. And
exactly. Is it wrong? Yes. But you know what?
Well,
I can't.
And here again, you've got people taking shortcuts like that knucklehead who killed Jennifer Jennifer Steinle. And you have other people taking shortcuts like Buddy the restaurant guy.
Right. And that guy who killed somebody puts a bad name on the poor guy who's just trying to make a living and own a restaurant.
The one kid in class ruined it for everybody.
Clean it up. Clean it up.
That's all I got. What about you?
I'm exhausted from that conversation.
That's enough. All right. Well, listen, Thanksgiving prequel next week. Yeah?
Yes, Thanksgiving prequel. I'm in a much better mood now because I am going back to my old job.
Oh.
Okay. So I've got a great offer today. So
good deal.
Very, very happy.
Wow, it's going around. Good for you.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that
next
time. All right. You'll get your beak wet with that, and we'll talk about more about that next week. Give us a buzz about what you're thankful for.
No politics. I'm going to say no to politics. Can we be politic free next week?
I'm in. Just we'll talk about what we're thankful for and or related.
What we're thankful for, and yes, as a matter of fact, I like that. That's going to be what we're thankful for. Politic free.
Gino, hit the music because we're about ready to take it on out of here.
Rowdy.
Till next time, we'll see you next week. Next time in real time. I'm Real Town. I'm John.
I'm Tracy.
Bye.
I like this blue. That's a nice.
No more rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every card by heart. Oh, the curtain lights. This is it. We'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. With the show, this is it. Tonight, what heights we'll hit.